What's up YouTube, Jay here to teach you a really big thing that I learned when I was playing music. So what I see a lot of the time is a lot of singer-songwriters or beginners, when they start playing the guitar, is they get really caught up in bar chords, right? Like, you know, these, like this is a G bar chord. So think about this as kind of your hack around bar chords. If your fingers aren't strong enough yet to be doing bar chords, that's alright. There's room in the musician world for people like yourself. We all see singer-songwriters that just know how to play like 4 chords, you know, like this G shape. Like where they kind of just move one finger and then all of a sudden it creates these magical open shapes. What I want to do is show you a bunch of other shapes that you can learn, right? Based on what I can see on YouTube, there's only a very few tutorials, if any, on the rest of open shapes that are actually just as easy as the one I just played on the G shape. I'm going to show you 5 chord shapes today. We'll start with C, and I'm going to very much approach this with a circle of fifths kind of theory behind it. So 5 notes away from C is C, G. What's 5 notes away from G? That's D. Then 5 notes away from that is A, and then E. Now what you need to know is that each of these chord shapes have about 6 chords in them. Like when you stick in the key of C, for example, you have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and then, you know, however you order that forms your chord progression. Songs and keys have about 3 minors and 3 majors, and if you're not familiar with the theory, that's totally okay. If I can give you guys 5 keys to play open chord shapes, that should give you all the tools that you need to create and to write your own songs and to play the majority of songs that are out there. Let's start with C. So we have C over here. You guys know this chord shape. What we're gonna do now to make it just as easy to move just like that G shape. See how we're only moving the minimum amount of fingers and already the chords are shifting. We're going to do this. We're gonna start with our C, and then we're gonna add our pinky in the last string of the 3rd fret. Just like that. So this is gonna make it much easier to kind of anchor on this position and move the bare minimum fingers to get you guys playing those 6 chords. All right. So there are 6 chords you need to master in the key of C: C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor. All right. I'm gonna show you how to go from this position to hit all of those open chords. So we're gonna go C. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna bar the last 2 strings in your guitar, and you're gonna take your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and you're gonna create this and start from the D string. That's your D minor, right? That's probably gonna be the hardest transition. So we're gonna go from here, right? And then we're gonna create this E minor. So E minor, most of you use like this, but we're actually gonna go like this, right? So in the 3rd fret, you're gonna have your 5th and your 6th string fretted, and then you're going to take these 2, your middle and your index finger on the 2nd fret over here. So we got this. Now your F is kind of gonna be like your C chord, but you're gonna move these down. See that? See that transition? So all I did was take this root position. I'm just gonna drop my middle finger and my ring finger. See? And then to get my G chord, which is the 5th chord in this family, I'm gonna raise these 2 and I'm gonna bring them up here. And then lastly, to get my A minor chord, I'm gonna take my middle finger and I'm gonna put it right here on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. Play from the A string. Got it? So that's all you need. And now you have the C shape. Think about it. You have C, then you have a D minor, then you have an E minor, then you have an F, and then a G, and then you got an A minor. Right? So you'll notice that I didn't have to like bar anything. You'll notice that I pretty much stayed in these 3 frets, right? Like it's minimal movement, and it's kind of like the G in the sense that you can just move these guys around, like, right? You have your C, you have your F, you have your G, you have your A minor. Like those 4 chords are already covered in this single movement. Now let's go 5 away from C and let's go to G. Now if you already know your G shape and you're comfortable, then skip this part of the video and fast forward to the D shape. But I'm gonna still do it for those of you who don't know the G position. This can be your video. All right, let's start with G. So take this position. What you're gonna do is on the 3rd fret, you're gonna fret the 5th and the 6th string. Here, there you go. These are gonna be your anchors. These are barely going to move the whole time, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're going to take your middle finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And then you're gonna mute this A string. That's gonna be your 1st chord. Now from G, we're gonna go to an A minor. An A minor is probably the hardest chord you're gonna learn in this series. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your ring finger off. So you're gonna go to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string from the top. The 3rd string from the top. And then you're gonna take your index and then you're gonna put it on the 1st fret of the 5th string. So you have this kind of shape, so like that. That's probably gonna be the hardest transition from your G to your A minor. Right? Then now you go back to this, and then what you're going to do is you're actually going to keep these anchors. Your middle finger in the 4th string, and you're going to have your index finger in the 2nd string in the 2nd fret, like this. That's your B minor. And then, you know, to get to your C is very easy. You release, you keep your anchors, you put your C, and you put your middle finger here in the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and that's your C chord. And then you take your index finger and you put it here for the D chord. That's the 4th string, 2nd fret. Got it? So what you really have now in essence is this G, this complicated movement here into this A minor. Then you're gonna be here. That's your B minor, C, D. Then the last one is your E minor. So that's just these two over in the 2nd string and the 3rd string of the 2nd fret. Right? So most of you will already know this. So you'll have this movement. There you go, you have your 6 chords in the family of G, or in the key of G, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna go ahead and skip over to 5 notes away from G, and that gets us to D. Now, I haven't seen many tutorials in this. This is personally my favorite key to play on the guitar neck. It's the D shape. So, our anchors, you'll notice that on G, our anchors were these two, right? Like you had, but our anchors are actually gonna slightly change in the D shape. So we're gonna put our index finger on the 4th string from the top, and that will be on the 2nd fret, and we're gonna take our 4th finger, then we're gonna take our ring finger and we're gonna put it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, like these. And these will hardly move, okay? So you just keep these right there. I mean, they might move a couple times, but generally speaking, you're going to keep them in that position. So that's your 1st chord, that's your D major. And obviously you're gonna play it from the D string. Got it? So we're gonna take you to the next chord, which is a E minor. All you have to do is take your index and put it here on the 2nd string of 2nd fret. Then you get your E minor there. And then the next one is going to be tricky because you're going to have to use your thumb, right? But what you're going to do is you're gonna use your thumb to wrap around here and then you're going to take your two other fingers like that. So you can see that the ring finger isn't moving. We're gonna add the middle finger here on the 4th string 2nd fret. We're gonna add your index finger here on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then your thumb is gonna wrap around. So there's 3 notes you are fretting on the 2nd fret, and there's 1 on the 3rd fret there. So if it's unclear, there you go. And you're gonna create this chord, which is a variant of the F sharp minor. So far we have this, D, E minor, F sharp minor. Then if you know the next chord, it's going to be your G, and all you have to do is take your index finger and go here, and that's your G. The next chord after your G major is obviously an A major, so you're going to go back to your D shape, but you're going to move this up, so and that's your A. Now to get that to B minor, you're just going to raise your index, and you're going to go to the 2nd string 2nd fret, and you're going to create this. So that's a B minor. So there you go, that's the D shape. So you have this, E minor, F sharp minor, and G, and A, B minor. Alright, and then you can play around with whatever chord progression you have there. So you have like a G. Okay, so let's go 5 away from D. We will now be in A. Nice, huh? Okay, so the A shape is a little bit trickier, but you know, we're going to get through it as well. So this is going to be your starting position. You're going to have your ring finger and your pinky on these strings over here, so that will be the 3rd string and the 4th string on the 2nd fret, and you should create this beautiful sus chord. Right, now the next chord in the A shape is a B minor. Ring finger into this note over here, so that's the 3rd fret on the 5th string, and then you're going to put your middle finger here on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and you're gonna put your index finger here on the 2nd string 2nd fret, and that will give you a variant of the B minor. There you go. So you're gonna go from here to a B minor. Now the next one is a C sharp minor. So what you're gonna do is you're going to add this pinky over here. So you have this shape, and you're gonna move it here, right? So you're gonna go from your B minor, add the pinky, then move it 1 whole step, or 2 semitones, right? And you're kind of gonna mute this 3rd string, right? So that's your C sharp minor. So you have this starting position, and B minor. And then we're gonna go into D, and D is really easy, so you're just gonna be on the 2nd fret here of the 4th string, and then strum from the D string. That's your D major chord in the key of A. And then from that, an E is just like this. So it's kind of like your A shape from the 1st position, and then you're going to add this note. You're gonna put your middle finger on the 2nd string 2nd fret, and strum from the E string. The last chord is the F sharp minor, and from the E position, all you have to do is raise your middle finger and put it on the top string here, and then mute this. And that gets you your F sharp minor. Now, a lot of songs I like are in the key of A, and I love the F sharp minor to the A, right? You get this kind of effect. really cool things in the key of A. You could go to the B minor, and then to the E, to the A, D, and you will notice that there's minimal movement in my A shape as well, right? We're all kind of just sticking to these 3 frets. Kind of like the C, the G, the D, and now the A. Let's go to the last one, which is the E shape. E shape actually involves you to have to move between the frets, and you're not just limited here, right? But the good news is your anchors are entirely movable. So we'll start with E here. This is what it kind of looks like, and I'll break it down later. That's the first chord, second chord, third chord, right? Fourth chord, fifth chord, sixth chord. Right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your ring finger and your pinky, and you're going to go all the way to, what fret is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to go to the 9th fret. On the 3rd and the 4th string from the top, like that. You're gonna have them anchored like that. Okay, then you're gonna take your index finger, go to the 7th fret on the 2nd string, and this should give you your first chord, E. Beautiful E shape. The cool thing about this is you're only going to keep your ring finger and your pinky, and you're gonna move it to the next chord. So you're gonna kind of make this, you're gonna make kind of like that A from the last key shape I said, and you're going to add your, you're gonna add this. You're going to add your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string to create an F sharp minor. If that looks familiar, it's because in the other shape that we talked about in A, it's an F sharp minor. It's the exact same shape. Right, now we're gonna move it 2 semitones or 2 frets to get our G minor, right? F sharp minor, 1, 2. That gives you your G sharp minor. Right, beautiful resonance there. You have your F sharp minor and then you have your G sharp minor. Now we're gonna take it to A major. So all we need to do is discard our middle finger and put it back here to get that A. And that's really easy. We're gonna keep these 2 again. We're gonna move them 2 semitones, and we're gonna add our index finger here on the 2nd fret on the 2nd string. That will give us a B. And now to get the last chord in this family of E, we're going to move this shape, including the index finger, and we're gonna move it 2 semitones. So 1 semitone, 2 semitone, that gets us to a C sharp minor. Right? So that completes it. So we start from the E position here, right? F sharp minor, G sharp minor, back to A, and then B, adding that index, and then 2 semitones to the C sharp minor. So that will give you your 6 chords, right? This is your 1 chord, which is the E, your 2 chord, F sharp minor, your G sharp minor, your A, your B, your C sharp minor. So that's it for the video. I mean, if you are a singer-songwriter who's been struggling, if you're a beginner musician who's been struggling for some time with bar chords, I hope that this shows you that you don't have to have bar chords figured out for you to access the guitar. These are shapes that I've used, and over time you will develop the strength to play bar chords, especially if you master all these different shapes. If you're worried about the theory, if you need to know why there are 6 chords, I'm gonna release a video on that, explaining how that works and how music works. For now, I think you should be okay. If you thought this video was valuable, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. There's going to be more coming out. You can like this video as well and share it with your friends if you find it of value. So happy playing for those